Hello and welcome to this introductional video showcasing an old school file manager I've just built. So why did I do this, you might be wondering? Well, as a Linux user living in the terminal, why not to use the command line, you might be wondering? Well, sometimes you do not know the exact path to those files you need to copy or do whatever file operations. Hence this idea of having these like old school two panels where you can visually do stuff with files and folders. And why not to use the existing midden commander, for instance, which seemingly does the same thing but much better? Well, that's because it's kind of too bloated in terms of features, and I don't really like when the software does more than actually needed to do. And again, bear in mind the Unix philosophy. We need to make sure that a piece of software does one thing and does it well. So what my file manager does, it does manage the files and hopefully does it well. So it's cross-platform, it works both on Linux and Windows. So let me demonstrate how it works on both platforms. And we'll kickstart with Linux. So let's kickstart with navigation. So you can go up to the very root, you can scroll down, scroll up. So I'm going to Home, CMK, Desktop, and this is it. Source, so here is the source code. Here is the source code. Well, this manager is not an application launcher, so you cannot open the file in it. Yeah, do one thing and do it well, just manage the files. Okay, the second panel, you can do literally the same thing here. So now let's say you want to perform some file operations. So if I go to here, for instance, so I press End to create a new directory. So let's say test. So this has just been created. So here I will go into test, and here, for instance, I will go to source, and I want to select some files like this. For instance, I'm using the insert key to select files, and I've pressed home. It copies the files to the test directory, right? So now we have this test containing those files we need. So if we want to delete this, just can insert and delete. No longer exists here, obviously. That's basically it. Now let's have a look how this works on Windows. So I say wine task mgr file new task command line. So I need to cd to the source, and here do fm, and here we go. So notice that we have the drives here instead of just the root folder. And on Windows, additionally, specifically, we can use page up and page down to list the drives on Windows. So this is only Windows specific feature. So say here I have sort of virtual drive C. Here I have sort of virtual drive Z, and essentially drive Z is the root in my Linux system. So I can go to, again, like home, CMK, desktop, file manager, and say here I also want to go to exactly the same location, CMK, desktop, file manager. So yeah, again, and to create a directory, so same thing, test here, and creates test, and here let's go to source and insert to insert some files, home to copy files, and we got the files here. So test now does include the files. Let's get rid of this now. Yeah, that's pretty much all about it. So one last but not least thing to make sure it works on Windows. So here I have this Core Utils. So I cd into the Core Utils, and here let me just run this installer. So next, accept, and I recommend to use the path like this, so c/GNU Win32, and I don't click next because it would just go install it. I don't really want it because I already have this installed. But once you've completed the installation, next thing you need to do, you need to make sure that the GNU Core Utilities are visible system-wide. So to make sure that actually happens, you need to do the following things. So let's assume you've just completed the installation. You need to go to the registry editor. On Wine I can do it like this. And here we have HK local machine system, current control set control, session manager environment. Within the environment, there is the path variable like this. On your system, this might be not all the capital path, but from the capital and then the lowercase. Anyway, this is the system variable containing all of the system-wide visible binary executables. So just modify this, and here I've appended semicolon C/GNU Win32/bin. Now, whatever binary executable available within this path, GNU Win32/bin, is going to be available system-wide. And click OK here. And to verify it actually works, if I go back to the command line, so say task mgr, again, file new task command line, then here, for instance, I can execute ls. And it does list the directory. So in Windows you only have dir by default, but ls does the trick. So it actually lists the files. So if I go like one level up, it also tells me one level up prints all the files available there. So ls is just one of the utilities. We actually only need the utilities like cp to copy files, make directory, and rm to remove a file or directory. That's pretty much all about it. Now once you got those tools installed and made them system-wide visible, you can use the file manager. Now one last but not least thing, guys, that I'm really wondering. So when I started building this, I thought that I would make a tutorial series on it, just like I did about the text editor, the Ego text editor that has been covered in 12 video series a couple of days ago on this channel. But I'm not quite sure whether there would be anyone interested watching this series, so please kindly let me know in the commentaries whether you would or would not like to follow such a series. This is from my side, thanks for watching and see you later.